Lost in the radio labyrinth. We're gonna rock it like we're still young kids. Laughing at the world, but jokes never fade away. And at the radio labyrinth will never be swayed.
Hi, welcome to Season 9, Episode 1. I can't believe we're entering our 9th year doing this show. 9 fucking years. It feels like it went by like super fast. And I want to start going through our old shows and seeing some of that magic that we used to have, right? That magic when Tim was grumpy all the time and bitching about everything.
Well, if you want that magic, we need to get together in person and do the show.
We have to figure that out because we do great. And Dustin does a kick-ass job of editing these things. They look awesome on YouTube. But we need a space to get together. Or I don't know how we're going to work that out. Maybe if you guys want to come back to the station, if I get approval to do that, we can do that. Then the problem becomes, what are we going to do about video? So if we can find a solution to that, we'll get on it. Because I think it would be great if we were all together again.
Get Ming to open up that shared universe podcast studio in Atlanta that he's always talking about.
Yeah.
He didn't like me. I don't know why.
I'll talk to him on the cruise. We're going on the cruise in a couple weeks.
What cruise?
The Impractical Jokers cruise.
Oh, well, in the meantime, maybe we could try to figure out a way that we'd be able to record it and we could do some sort of, I don't know, go beg for money me or something like that. I don't like asking people for money, but it can't be that expensive to get some decent cameras, right?
Yeah, it can be.
Okay. Well, why don't you figure that out?
Will do.
Get us a budget together.
Yeah.
And
we'll
see if
figure
we
it out.
can't see if we can't go fund me.
Yeah. But that is our goal. That is our goal to get back together this year. We hope you support that decision out there listening. But so 9th year. How many episodes are we going to do this year? Well, hopefully 50 like we did last year. We don't want to take too much time off, right? But thank you for being patient with us. There is some awesome people out there who support us. And we do a Patreon show every week, 15, 20 minutes, that you can get at any level from $1 all the way up to however much you want to give us. And all you have to do to find out about that or get access to it is go to patreon.com/Tim Andrews and sign up. And then you get it every week. You know, you can just watch it right there in the old Patreon app if you like. You could come in at the producer level, $25 a month. You get yourself a t-shirt from the t-shirt store. You'll get a doodle from me. I'll do a custom one, or you can just pick one and I'll print it out and email it to you or mail it to you, however you wish. And a bunch of stickers and all that stuff. Plus, you're a producer of the show, so you get your name mentioned right here at the top. And I want to thank Tim Slayton, Brian and Chelsea Smith, Jeff Peterson, Jim Fortner, Terry Fuller, Chris Chandler, Roby Neely, Kevin Jackson, Mike D, and Mr. Matt Carter. And before we really get rolling here, Whitey Walters has something to say about the new year, some predictions for perhaps the Super Bowl, and then Dustin will tell you about the merch store.
So it's 2024 now, and I'm wondering what kind of bullshit fear porn the media will throw at us this year. Wars, respiratory diseases, Disney's new Snow White. They managed to squeeze in one stupid story at the very last minute, zombie deer. On December 26th, USA Today blogger Sarah Chernikoff wrote, and I quote, "Zombie deer disease is a slow-moving disaster. Why scientists say humans should be prepared," end quote. Just like you, I didn't read the story, but you did read the headline and go, oh shit. While I read it and thought, bullshit. But I think it'd be cool if AMC kept milking the franchise and added a zombie deer show. I'll even be in it as Walter White. While Rick Grimes and the rest of those pussies are running away, trading beets and corn for bullets, I'll confront the zombie deer and become their leader. I'll have a fucking army of flesh-eating Bambis at my disposal, and will, I suppose, use them to conquer what's left of America. Who knows? I'm sure there'll be plenty of dumbass shit on CNN and Fox News to anger and scare everyone all year long. And then there's that fateful day in November where we'll all have to make a choice. On November 19th, we must decide between celebrating Women's Entrepreneurship Day or World Toilet Day. Tough choice. Every day is Toilet Day as far as I'm concerned, and Super Bowl Sunday is no different. This year I plan to wake up and take a shit. Then I'll get dressed and go watch the game in a couple of seedy bars filled with strangers. My prediction? The Cleveland Browns versus the Detroit Lions. The game will end up tied at the end of the fourth quarter, and just before the overtime kickoff, an asteroid will hit the Earth, destroying everything. One can dream. Here's Dustin to tell you about the merch.
Store's still open. We've got a 10% off. I extended until the end of January. So that's ROP123 at checkout, and you can get 10% off of your order.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And a very nice job on that.
And a good day to you, sir.
Oh, so we talked about this in our Patreon show, but everybody seemed to have, for the most part, a good holiday. Mine was extremely stressful, and you can listen to that if you're a Patreon member to find out why. Just has a lot to do with money being stolen by a mega corporation and then a mega bank not being willing to help me. They can all go fuck themselves, as they say in Nebraska. Speaking of Nebraska, that's where Jeff was for the holidays. He had some snow. Steph had a nice holiday as well, except for the Lions getting fucked over by the refs. And Dustin dove into some rabbit holes on YouTube. And that's all in the Patreon show, and you can check all that out if you're so interested. But I told you guys, as soon as I walked out of the movie theater, I saw Godzilla -1 on the recommendation of Matt Malero from Adult Swim, Squidbillies, and all that. He said he likes Godzilla movies. I texted him back and said, I plan to see that because I love all those old Godzilla movies. And he wrote back, I don't like those movies. I like Japanese stories. And I said, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I went and saw this movie. And it really is a story, an amazing story that has a monster in it. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, Godzilla, rah, 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 Bryan Cranston and 11 aren't running around trying to figure shit out like an American version of it. It's just a really good story. And I cried at the end of it. I walked out. The last time I left a movie crying, it was Les Miserables.
What happens at the end of Les Mis? I've never seen it.
Well, at the end of it, they're all sobbing. The reason it was such an
Spoiler alert.
You've never listened to the musical or read the book or seen any of the 5 different films. It's the same ending in every one of them.
What is it?
Hyper emotional. Like the whole movie is emotional. Everybody's crying. In that movie with Hugh Jackman, they sang the songs live. And they're all crying. I mean, these are real tears. All these actors are just blah, 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 blah. Of course, the worst thing about it being the actor who played Javert, what's his name? The gladiator guy. I can't think of his name right now.
Russell Crowe.
Can't sing. It's a terrible choice. But anyway, that doesn't matter. It was just so emotional, and I already loved the story. I've always loved the story. I've always loved the musical. And so it just affected me emotionally because, physically they're sobbing and you can see these tears and it's all like spit coming out of their mouth.
Is it about dancing Nazis?
No, but there is a version set in Nazi Germany, or it's the fascist type. There's no dancing Nazis. You're thinking of
the producers?
The producer.
Mel Brooks movie, yeah.
Oh.
This is about the French Revolution, isn't it?
No, it's about prior to the French Revolution.
No, I'm thinking of All That Jazz, maybe? Or Jazz Singer? Or
The Jazz Singer with Neil Diamond is about a Jewish immigrant. Yeah?
Not the one with Liza, whatever the one has.
That's called Cabaret. And
Cabaret.
Yes,
that's what I'm thinking of.
Weimar, Berlin, as the Nazis are coming into power.
Okay, that's what it was.
Clean up the degeneracy of the nightclubs. So many good Nazi stories. And plenty haven't been told yet. Of course, that was a joke. Don't take me seriously on that. Other than that, did we all watch Chappelle? I want to talk about that a little bit if everybody watched it.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? I mean, there were a lot of laugh out loud moments, but there were like certain parts of it where it just seemed to drag on. Now, the end of it I thought was really cool. That nice tribute to all the people and all of his friends. Nice little Norm Macdonald story that ended up being funny. Not going to spoil it for anybody, but go back to, this is the first time he's played that theater since what was the name of his special? Bring the Pain is Chris Rock, but what was the name of his special that he shot at that theater? Killing Them Softly, which is one of the stand-up comedy specials of the 2000s for sure. But he used to be one of the, joke, 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 joke. And they're all really, really funny. And I don't get that vibe from him anymore. His last special, then The Dreamer, which just happened. I don't get a lot of that. But the ones that were there were very funny, I thought. But you guys, what do you think?
Well, he's definitely not making fun of the trans people anymore.
No, that's completely gone from his whole thing. Do you think he's too obsessed with that? Have we heard enough about that from him? It seems that's what people are talking about. You see all the headlines, and it might just be that negative marketing, but it's like doubles down on anti-trans stance. I don't take that away from him when I don't either. Speak about it.
No, it doesn't seem anti-trans.
No.
I don't get that vibe. And I guess
it seems anti baby, you got hurt feelings.
Yeah. Or mandatory feelings about something, like you're compelled to feel a certain way, or basically having somebody tell you how you're supposed to think about certain things. Nobody likes that. I don't.
It's satire. You know how he shifts it to the other community and starts making fun of them in this special, which was definitely a curveball. Didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't either.
He likes to punch down.
Yeah. I don't believe it in the theory of punching down, because it gives the other side too much of an, not that I'm on a side, but it gives the side that's saying, well, you shouldn't punch down. It gives them carte blanche to do whatever they please. You should punch up. You should do this. You should just say what you want to say, and either people will like it or they won't like it. People will either laugh or they won't laugh. And that's kind of my thought on comedy. There are a lot of comedians out there now that I'm just discovering that don't play any of those games, that are super, super funny. And you can't even tell how they vote, or you don't care how they vote. Once we started worrying about how the people that we like to watch tell comedy or play music or act, once we started caring about how they voted, then it just became pointless. Because why would you care? I didn't care how Mr. T voted. I just liked the A-Team. I didn't know how I don't know how any of those people voted. I didn't care. I just liked them. I didn't know how Motley Crue voted. I imagine that they probably didn't vote. They just like to get drunk and fuck people.
Well,
even if his special was mediocre by Chappelle standards, it's still better than almost anybody who's trying their hardest. So,
yep, you're absolutely right. I mean, Carlin had maybe one or two 80s, 90s specials that weren't so very good, but they all had jokes in them and they all had a point to them. And if people don't like his final special before he died, I think that's one of his best modern Carlin type of specials, because he was facing death and a lot of his friends were dying and he knew that he was ill, but he did it anyway. And I thought that was good. Plus, I got to see him on the tour where he worked all the material out before he actually did it.
Oh, that's cool.
For HBO. Yeah, it was cool. Sitting there in the Fox Theater. Nobody cares about your fucking kids.
I think if Dave really wanted to challenge himself at this point in his career, if he did an entire set without using the N-word.
Yeah, that would be tough for him.
If he could do an entire set and still be funny, that would be a true challenge. I wish I would like to see him try that.
His story,
it's kind of a crutch for him, even though it's funny when he says it.
It is.
It's more funnier than when anybody else says it, but it's a crutch.
Don't you like it when he says the N-word and they zoom in on somebody's a white guy's face in the audience and that person's not laughing? Like, you're purposefully making yourself not laugh because he just told a very funny joke.
Right.
Sitting there. This happened a couple times in the special. This guy's just sitting there trying not to laugh. It's funny. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit.
Well, that dude lives in Chocolate City. He is probably scared. He's got to go back out into the streets.
Yeah.
He's used to keeping his mouth shut. On the subway, he just tight lips everything.
But then he did that story about the Chris Rock and Will Smith. I still have yet to find a comedian talking about that, and he's engaged in it, of course, because he's friends with both of them, which was a cool story to listen to. And where he landed on that whole topic was funny. But still, I don't know how many of you have. I know Dustin has seen it, but the AI generated Tom Brady stand up. He does this whole bit about it. He goes, I don't know why Hollywood isn't capitalizing on this. Will Smith and Chris Rock should be in a bunch of movies together where Will Smith constantly slaps him. Maybe they swap it around and he slaps him. Maybe he's mad at him. Maybe he's not. AI generated, very funny stand up routine. And then he also talks about Amber Heard shitting in Johnny Depp's bed. Take a gummy and watch that.
Okay.
With or without their commentary. I like it with their commentary, but you miss some of the jokes and the images that the AI generated to go along with it. I love that, by the way, they can't host it on any of their sites. Just people stole it and put it up on YouTube, and they call Tom Brady football baby now. I know you guys are probably all caught up on Fargo. I'm not that far ahead on Fargo. I'm like 2 episodes behind, but man,
Oh my God. Dave Foley liked my tweet.
Dave Foley liked your tweet?
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, who did? Who liked
Dave
it?
Foley.
Oh, nice. What'd you say to him?
Just, I yelled, no.
Okay.
All right, don't tell me this.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
I haven't seen this last episode. I'm 1 behind.
That one last week was really good too with the puppets.
Yeah.
I'm not
that
gonna,
was good.
You're named after a pastry.
Danish.
I don't spoil it, fucker. Now I know he's not going to make it.
He was good. Did you guys watch that the Maggies movie on Hulu with John Hamm and Tina Fey?
No.
It was one of those Hulu original movies or whatever. It came out last week. So good. Really funny.
Who else?
Just a little low budget. It's just a smattering of people. Not really anybody else that I know, but he plays a cop in this too, but he's not a dirtbag like he is on Fargo. He's an actual good cop. And I think him and Tina Fey have such great chemistry. They always have.
And Allison Dunbar is in it.
Yes.
I've seen her
So check
before.
that out. It's called the Maggies.
The Maggie.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Very fun movie.
News, trailers, and trends with Steph.
All right, Steph, you got some news and stuff to talk about.
I do got some news.
But before we get to, all the stories, let's talk about, there's an article in Variety.com, the most anticipated returning shows of 2024. And then according to that article, nothing's coming out after April. So they have a whole bunch of shows on that list, but we all picked our own. You can check it out. The link will be here and also in the notes and everything. But Jeff, why don't you get started? What shows are you looking forward to the most? At least as far
I picked True Detective, the Jodie Foster one. It's coming out. Looking forward to that one.
At least some of that'll be good. It's like any of those. At least some of it'll be good, probably.
Word around the water cooler is it's the best one since season 1, which will be very hard for any season to top because that was so.
That will be very hard.
Wow. Yeah.
And Curb final season. Shall see that go, but looking forward to watching it. And that Ted series, I think it's going to be funny.
Yeah, it's a prequel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do prequel. No, I'm going to watch it. I love Ted. I love both the movies. I don't care how bad they get reviewed. They're funny.
Yeah. The second one was all right.
How about you, Dustin?
Let's see. I also put down True Detective. Also, Masters of Air. Apple is coming out with this is Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, like they did.
It's the band of brothers. Yeah.
They're producing about the squadrons that would fly over during World War II, and so it's going to have a lot of bombardier stories. And I imagine if Steven Spielberg puts into it what he put into Amazing Stories when he was doing those with the bombardiers and everything, I think it'll look and be really good. So I'm excited about that one.
I know why you said Stephen King. Bombardier.
Yeah. Also, the Fallout series that's coming out looks excellent.
Yeah.
And the
I
Three
just
Body
saw
Problem.
a preview for that. Looks really good.
For
I was
Fallout?
never really into Fallout, but the series looks good.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the game goes, I think it's going to be like The Last of Us, where they set, they're going to have a good story set within a game parameters, but I don't think because there's not really a narrative in Fallout like there is in The Last of Us, so they can make the story a little more interesting and not have to follow a track. So it ought to be pretty good. And Three Body Problem was the one that I'm really interested in seeing.
What's that?
It's a sci-fi
It's a book.
series, or a book written by, I think he's Japanese or Chinese, the author. I read it when it first came out and put it down probably 10 times because it was kind of like reading Dune for the first time. Just a lot to take in and remember. And even for a Stephen King fan who, the way he writes characters and everything and keeping up with them, this one was 10 times harder to keep up with. But, supposedly they've really trimmed it down to where it's a good story, and I'll be interested to see if they can pull it off.
Steph, what are yours other than Fart Quest?
The ones I'm interested in, one is I loved that feud show that came out years ago. Ryan Murphy did it. It was the feud between Betty Davis and Faye Dunaway.
That was a good show.
It was. So he's got a new one coming out. And
Betty Davis and not Faye Dunaway played her. Joan Crawford.
Yeah. Joan Crawford, yes.
That's Faye Dunaway isn't in the show. Who played Betty Davis?
I was thinking of Mommy Dearest. That's what I was thinking of. But
right, but it was what's her name from Jessica Lange played one of those bitches.
Yes.
But I know what you're talking about.
Yes, it was so good. So they're doing a new one. It's Truman Capote versus the Swans. And I guess back in the day, he was always flocked by these high society women, which they called the Swans, and they're being played by Naomi Watts, Diane Lane, Chloe Sevigny, Demi Moore, Molly Ringwald. So I mean, there's like all these really good female actresses that are playing these roles. So I'm sure it's going to be pretty good.
Who's playing Truman Capote?
Truman Capote, Tom Hollander.
Oh shit, this is going to be great.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be really good. I think Ryan Murphy does better when he does shows like that now. The American Horror Story, it is...
that's done.
It's done. I think we all know it's done. I'm with you guys. I can't wait for Curb. I'll be looking forward to that too. I want to see The Regime. That's Kate Winslet, and it takes place during, I believe, World War II times. It's a dark satire, and it is the same guy who did Succession in The Menu.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be pretty wicked good fun, I would imagine. And Palm Royale looks really good to me. That's with Kristen Wiig. It's like a comedy. It's going to be on Apple TV Plus, and it looks like just like a goofy show. It looks pretty good. And yeah, that's it.
There's one I didn't put on the list. I didn't know if I would be interested in watching or not. Shogun. Maybe. I'm going to wait and see what the reviews are before I give it a shot.
The previews, they're running like crazy during Fargo, make it look pretty good. But
I saw it in...
Is there a lot of chop with some samurai swords, Jeff?
Yeah, a little bit.
Not going to watch the reboot of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, even though Donald Glover's in it. What is it? It's the Abe Lincoln show I saw.
Oh, yeah, the 5 days after the Lincoln assassination of him hunting down John Wilkes Booth.
Right.
Yeah.
That might be interesting. But mine are the same as all you guys. Ted, True Detective, Curb, and I'm going to check out Fallout, even though I didn't play the game.
I didn't play the game, but the show looks great. I mean, you just can't deny it. If you like sci-fi, it looks like anybody who's a sci-fi fan
play the game
to it. Oh, of course. Are you kidding me?
Or maybe we can get him to come on and talk like he did with Last of Us.
He would probably enjoy that because he does. Oh, God, does he love Fallout? I've heard him talk about it so many times.
Is that a weekly show, or are they dumping it all at once?
No, they'll be divvying that out weekly.
They're going to do it just like The Last of Us.
Yeah, there's too much of a ratings pull for them not to. Yeah.
So, Jeff, are you going to watch The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, or are you finally done with that show?
I got to see it to the end.
That's true. You're a loyalist. I appreciate that. One more thing. You guys all started Rebel Moon. I decided not to. Why was it?
I tried to start it 3 times, and I fall asleep every time.
The way he filmed stuff, and I thought it was just maybe he had gotten into it with the superhero movies, but it used to be that you could tell most directors by the look of the film, and that was a good thing. His is a bad thing because if you notice in the movie, everything in the center of the screen is in focus. Everything on the outside of the screen is out of focus. And it's not just picked and chosen for certain shots. It's the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, he's shooting it all on his in portrait mode on his Apple iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. And the story's it's nothing to it. It's all. I mean, it's a story based on like a Japanese
Seven Samurai.
Seven Samurai, yeah.
Which is what the Magnificent Seven is based off of as well.
And none of these are those. I mean, this was supposed to be a Star Wars movie. He had taken it to Star Wars, and they kicked it back out. And I can definitely see why, because it's just there's no anticipation. I mean, I care nothing. I watched the whole damn thing, and I care nothing about seeing the second part of it because I don't care about the first part of it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saving me the effort of having to watch it.
How much cred did you guys drink over the holidays?
How much what?
Cred.
What's oh, I had tons of cred. My God, I had 14 a day. We never talked about that, did we?
No, we didn't.
That South Park special just sort of showed up out of nowhere, and it was very funny. But since it's 2024, nobody talks about South Park beyond a week.
I guess we all are familiar with Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers. I think they've been into it for a minute, though, weren't they? Like over the vaccine, and Jimmy really lampooned him. He did, because Jimmy was getting paid by Pfizer throughout the pandemic, like Colbert was. But and Aaron Rodgers was being paid by the ivermectin people, the horse paste people, and he was eating horse paste and having sex with horses while he was eating the horse paste, putting the horse paste on his cock while the horse would lick it off his cock. Yay!
Allegedly.
Well, all right, yeah.
That's not good for your ankles.
Aaron Rodgers to come. No, but I don't want Aaron Rodgers coming after me.
Well, I guess Aaron thought it was funny to say that Kimmel will probably end up on the Epstein list whenever it's revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And Kimmel has threatened to get litigious with him just for even joking about it.
Well, Jimmy can not take a joke, but he can dish him out.
He surely cannot take a joke.
I know somebody who knows him personally, who I work with, who used to work with Jimmy, and he says he's always been like that, even going back a long time ago to when he was, nobody knew who he was.
I think that's why he couldn't make it with Sarah Silverman.
Really? Other than she's probably really annoying?
She's not annoying. You leave her alone.
She's funny, but I imagine she'd probably be annoying.
Who's more annoying, her or him?
I don't know. I'd rather watch him or her do stand-up than watch his show.
How would you like to just hang out with the two of them like you're the third wheel on a date with them?
No, I probably wouldn't like that very much. I'd hang out with Sarah. She'd probably be cool.
Sarah would be great. Are you kidding? I think she would be awesome.
So
anyway, are you team Kimmel or team Rodgers on this?
I'm team leave me alone. Shut the fuck up. When you're
going to watch it on Court TV, though, when it goes on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In 1984, when Joe Montana had a beef with Johnny Carson, you didn't hear about it anywhere because, you'd have to either hang out with Joe Montana and hear what he had to say about it or, talk to Johnny. They kept it private. But that was back in the early days of the AIDS crisis. And, Johnny was all about, wear a rubber and Joe Montana was just eating horse paste.
Who has more money, do you think, Kimmel or Rodgers?
Probably Aaron Rodgers.
I would think so.
Unless Jimmy owns the production company that does the show, and then he's probably super wealthy. But I think Aaron Rodgers is probably a lot more wealthy than that.
Just for the endorsement deals alone, I would think Aaron Rodgers would be more wealthy.
Yeah, he hasn't had one in a while because he ate the horse goo.
And ayahuasca.
Yeah, well, everybody does that stupid thing.
So Mickey has hit the public domain.
I see that.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie did.
That's Mickey Mouse. I mean, that's Mickey Mouse's granddaddy.
So are you guys interested in the Steamboat Willie horror film?
No, this is going to be worse than the Winnie the Pooh one.
The Winnie the Pooh one was great because it was fucking awful. Just to watch Piglet bite somebody's face off was amazing. And the Winnie the Pooh movie was so terrible, but I loved it. Like him pouring honey over somebody before he bit on their face.
Yeah. And the honey looked like lube. It didn't look like honey at all.
Oh, yeah. This Steamboat Willie movie, Jeff is right, looks like a hot pile of garbage, but how could you not watch it?
I don't have any interest in it. I mean, is it going to have like some sort of Rob Zombie rape scenes in it?
No, because Rob Zombie is a terrible director who has to add that shit in there so people will watch his movie.
Well, who's directing this? I'm sure they're not that great.
Stephen Lamort.
Who is that?
I don't know.
It sounds like somebody who would make Mickey rape Donald.
Well, Donald's not in it.
No. Well, I guess Mickey will rape the Ferry wheel or something. There'll be some sort of a rape, I guarantee you.
Stephen Lamort is a film producer, director and producer of feature films. He did Bury Me Twice, 3 Hours Until Dead, The Mean One. Stop me if you know any of these. The Powerpuff Girls, The Long Way Back.
The Mean One, I saw that in one of the choices on Netflix or something. It's a horror movie about the Grinch or something, and he kills people.
What?
Yeah.
Not watching that. I hate the Mickey Mouse horror trailer drops hours after Steamboat Willie enters public domain. So they had this movie all ready to go. And you can have Mickey, you just can't have gloves on, right? There's certain things you can do with Mickey, make him look like Steamboat Willie, but he can't look like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, and you can't call it Mickey Mouse, and you can't sell anything with the image on it. I mean, they still own the copyright and the trademark, so I mean, good luck. And Disney's good at that.
Oh yeah.
Don't ride your moped too close to Ian Ziering's car, because he's gonna fight you.
When that story broke, it looked like the initial video that was on TMZ. It looked like they surrounded him and he was trying to get away. But then recently they have another angle of it where he gets out and punches somebody right away. But it looks like they were fucking with him.
Yeah, they were, and they had the kid and his daughter in the car with him.
Right.
They didn't know he saved us from all those Sharknadoes.
I know, they should have known that. I like how they were calling him a biker gang, and they're all in those little shitty, stupid bikes.
But and he said, because he came out with a statement after this, that this is just highlighting a problem. There's just straight up hooliganism going on now.
No, you're not allowed to talk about that.
Well, he didn't care, and the fact that I don't know if you listened to Tim Dillon this week. He was talking about the same thing about how these kids, they scare him. He's afraid of them.
They need to go back to work. They need to work.
Put him in a factory, but they're all dead-eyed. There's nothing there.
Right. After I watched that, I swear to God that the next day after that latest episode of Tim Dillon was on, I spent the entire day not allowing Gilbert to have any screen time at all. So the whole day was just playing. And I'm like, when you guys want to turn, Dustin knows this, you want to turn on the TV and let them zone out so you can go breathe.
Use the bathroom. Yeah.
Use the bathroom, jack off, smoke a cigarette while you're jacking off in the backyard while the neighbor's looking at you. All that stuff that we used to do before we had kids.
TV is one thing. It's the letting them just be immersed in a phone.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly.
He's not getting a phone.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. You're being raised by algorithms.
Right. Yeah, there'll be a chip. All right, your son's ready for his chip. There's his chip. Now he can order whatever he wants and you'll pay for it. And he can watch Wheels on the Bus anytime he wants in 8,000 different languages and such stuff.
I think that's smart, though, to limit their screen time, though.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
By the time Gilbert's 10 years old, he'll be able to tell some AI bot, I want Wheels on the Bus, 700-minute long version of it, sung in German, performed by naked dancing Minnie Mouses. And okay, here you go. There you go.
I don't think he's going to be wanting that when he's 10.
No, he won't know who Minnie Mouse is. Maybe.
Oh, you put this on here, Tim. So what is it with this Disney taps man-hater for next Star Wars bomb? What's this about?
All right, so the big news in the Star Wars world is that there's a new movie coming out that's going to be a trilogy about Rey, and finally they've hired a female director, and it's about time that they have a female director, and they're making that whole, oh gosh, females have never been important in Star Wars until now, except for the fact that in the original Star Wars movie, the strongest character in the whole film was probably Leia. Yeah, fuck that, right? But
put a woman in and make her gay.
Exactly. Now, the more you watch this woman speak about it, is she goes, I like to make men uncomfortable. How about you make a fucking Star Wars movie that isn't stupid, that has a plot? Just make a fucking Star Wars movie. No one will complain about it. No one will bitch about it if it's good. Nobody cares that you're a woman. Nobody cares that you have a vagina. Nobody cares that Rey has a vagina and that she's the star of the movie.
But Tim, I want to see a space tampon. I've never seen one.
Disney didn't get DEI money ESG money from all of its investors, they'd be out of business. They'd have to sell ESPN, and then it could talk about sports again instead of social issues. But
I just want to see some Yoda scissoring.
yeah, that would be hot.
I'm gonna see some Yoda boobs.
Where I'm going to?
I was waiting for that.
Come on. I mean, but that's the whole story. Now, I don't care about that. I'm not one of those people. I ain't gonna go see it because a woman directed it. That's horse shit. I'm not gonna go see it because a woman is playing the main character. That's also horse shit. I saw Alien. The coolest kick-ass fucking character in all of Alien outside of the Alien was Ripley, who was played by Sigourney Weaver, who, as far as I know, is a woman. So this whole thing that we've been dealing with for the last, I don't know, since 2015, where blah 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 blah, it's all been done already. You don't have to keep fucking throwing up a flag and pounding your chest and saying how brave you are. It's already been done, and it's been done better than you're doing it. You're just making some fan service movie for a very small group of people. Now, just make a good Star Wars movie. How about that?
Well, I think maybe she just said that, and the media just used it to get a rise out of people like you, and that was what they did. And they did.
You got to watch it. I don't normally pay any attention to these headlines anymore, but you got to watch this person speak. Her whole thing is, and then she's getting patted on the back, and then Jon Stewart's, you're right, men have made too many Star Wars movies. Well, the fucking guy who created Star Wars was a guy. So I don't know what to tell you.
I don't either.
Allegedly.
I really don't.
I don't know if George Lucas is a man or not. I don't know how he identifies.
Well,
I know you made Howard the Duck. You figure for yourself.
Well, who was happy to see Gypsy Rose get released from prison finally?
I was.
Yeah, I felt like she did her time, and she didn't kill her mom, even though she was well within her rights to have killed her mom, I think, after what she made her go through for all those years, pretend she was handicapped and all this other stuff.
Right.
It's not fair that the guy who did it, though, got life, since he only did it because she told him to, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if somebody told me to kill somebody, I probably would say no.
Yeah. I mean, I think, but he wasn't very anyway. So she's got a new boyfriend, and a lot of people are talking stuff about it.
Why? You can say shit.
No, I'm not swearing.
Oh, that's right. That's your so you haven't sworn since New Year's Eve?
I haven't sworn since 11 a.m.
Ah.
I was at work today. I was in office. So
I see.
And I had to really get a hold of myself. It's a wild landscape in there right now. It really is. You never know what you're coming into. I feel like I should dress like Rambo every day because we just don't even know. But anywho. Yeah, so I haven't sworn since 11 a.m. I haven't said the F word since yesterday, so I'm proud of that.
Dude, good for you.
Yeah. Well, I read a study recently that said that the more you swear, the more negative you tend to be.
Yeah.
And I realized that I had fallen into that. I was swearing all the time. And not only that, I'd gotten very lazy with my vocabulary. I mean, I'm using that as a crutch instead of trying to find other words, which is, I'm slipping further and further into dementia.
Yeah, go intercourse yourself.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you, what's some alternative words I could say? I mean, for shit, I've been saying Shambly Tucker.
Well, that's a synonym.
But if I say it like Shambly Tucker, if I just it gets still gives you that feeling.
Fun. Oh, fun it. Other funner.
Batch.
My son is saying finna. Which
finna?
Makes me fucking laugh every time I hear you go, I'm finna get this. He says it.
He's finna get that paper.
Daycare. Because the daycare providers at his school, at his daycare, they say finna. It's a Southern thing. And it just depends on if you're a Southern white, you say fixin' to. And if you're a non-Southern white, if you're an African-American Southerner, but you grew up in the South. It's not like you moved here from Haiti 10 years ago. No, if you're, fundamental person from Georgia or the South or whatever, where they say that, you say finna, which is the same thing as I'm fixing to. Then you got I'm finna. So Gilbert says I'm finna. I'm finna get that car, Dad. And I just love it. It makes me laugh. I love it. It's so cute.
This is in Michigan too.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was a Southern thing, but I told my wife about it. I said, you understand what he's saying there? She goes, he's not saying that. I said, yes, he is. Listen to him. And he said it again. And she's like, oh, I can't believe, where's he learning that? I go, it's no big deal. He's 2.5. And he'll be saying that until we tell him later on, you're supposed to say, I am going to. But you
say that, and then he's going to end up being Eminem.
Now you pick up what's being put down where you're growing up. And, if we lived out in Hiram, or if we lived in, if he lived in Cumming, he'd have an Indian accent. If you lived in Ball Ground, he'd have a Southern accent, even though neither of us do. You just pick up what you're around. That's all.
Well, true. Well, to finish the story is Gypsy Rose. She's the guy who picked her up from jail is not the guy that obviously killed her mother. And people have been really raking him over the coals, I guess about his looks or whatever. I don't know what they thought she deserved, but they seem pretty on the same plane as me. But Gypsy wanted everyone to know that D is fire.
Good.
So
thank you, Gypsy, for letting us know his D is fire.
And that's all my news stories.
Thank you very much, Steph.
Guys, are you reading the online comments?
Gotta read some of these comments.
I'm loving your guys' comments.
You're reading your own comments?
Yeah, they're really good. I worked hard on them.
The secret is, don't read the comment cards.
I came here to talk to someone about this, get some perspective. Turns out I can just read the fucking YouTube comments.
We got your comments. And then now, let's not always see the same hands, is what I like to say. But we do, and we're going to read them anyway. These are from YouTube, and Roby says, I would like to thank Dustin, Steph, Tim, and sometimes that F and Ira for 50 weeks of entertainment in 2023. Happy Christmas and Merry New Year. Oh, wait, no, he said Happy New Christmas and Merry X Year. So obviously left before the holidays, but that's funny. Brian Jackson, season finale. Will we be left with cliffhangers? Will Dustin reveal he was on the other side of the glory hole? Will Jeff unblur his background and reveal he hasn't done his dishes? Will we all find Steph will switch from fostering dogs to cats? Will Tim leave the show to replace Shelby Foote on the remastering of PBS's Civil War documentary? Tune in and find out. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone. And he also added a new segment idea for Jeff. She has a face? Hey, we want to thank our two big sponsors who've been with us for a number of years, Mike Hall and Atlanta Pizza in Gyro. Thank you to Mike. Thank you to Atlanta Pizza in Euro and everyone at the restaurant. Atlanta Pizza in Euro is setting in for a nice winter season with over 40 beers in cans and bottles and 16 beers on tap, with a focus on local Georgia and Southeastern craft beers. They really have a great selection of beers to complement your delicious pizza, which is very, very good. I had pizza the other day, and I was like, I wish this was Atlanta Pizza in Euro. I almost wanted to drive there, but it was 10 o'clock at night. This is coming from Mike and Atlanta Pizza in Euro. They want to help thank all the radios for listening to this podcast. So if you stop by over the holidays and New Year's and mention you heard about Atlanta Pizza in Euro on Radio Labyrinth, you will get a free dessert, which is very generous and very nice. So go there. You can't pass up free dessert. Take the kids. The food truck is taking a short break after mid-December, and that'll go through February due to the winter weather. But there's always exceptions, and if you're interested in a specific date, just contact Mike Hall at 770-483-6228. They are open for dine-in and takeout Monday through Friday from 11 to 9, Saturday from 12 to 9, and closed on Sunday so people can spend time with their families. So, do you have a commercial or residential construction printing need? Well, what are you waiting for? Contact LDI Repro Printing of Athens. They've been in Athens, Georgia since 2005. They have a fast turnaround and affordable prices. Call 706-316-9366, or you can email them at athens@ldine.com. Supposed to say, and we're back.
Oh, and we're back.
Season 9, and you're forgetting all the protocols. Everybody's off the rails.
All right.
Everybody's off the rails. Everybody. I'm just kidding, Jeff.
Jeff unblurred his background.
You did? Are your dishes done?
Yeah, look at them.
I don't see any dishes. Just see a chair.
I love that chair. Love that chair.
Was that python skin?
Cheetah. Cheetah.
Oh,
Some sort of. We had those in our apartment. They probably don't smell like smoke.
Yeah, probably not.
I feel like they probably smell like dead cheetahs.
Yes. And smoke. We brought those all the way up. We brought those all the way down from Pennsylvania in I think when 99, maybe 98, whatever.
I want to know where you found a cheetah print wingback chair.
Hell.
Where'd your parents get those? Hell?
Yeah, no, I don't remember where they got them. Some auction somewhere, probably.
Years.
It had to be a strip club. Like that was a champagne room chair.
If Mansfield had had a strip club, it would have been a tent and some lady that just got out of a truck stop. Although we did have a lady that worked at Pizza Hut who was in Beaver Hunt, which is the
torpedo-titted Paula.
That's right. Before the internet came along and anybody could be a porn star. Hustler had hometown talent. People would send their wives, girlfriends, or women would send it in themselves. It was very nicely called Beaver Hunt, and the local girl gone to the big time, and torpedo-titted Paula was her name, and there was all sorts of a kerfuffle in our small town. How dare we can't take our child to Pizza Hut? They'll be thinking about her breasts. Why? Did you show her the picture from the Hustler you have in your magazine drawer?
How do you dress to go on a beaver hunt?
Well, I don't know. It depends on where you're
like
going.
Randy from South Park.
That's right.
This last movie.
Yeah.
Views.
Or.
Snooze.
Last Views or Snooze of the year was Maestro, Percy Jackson, and the Gary Gulman special, which I watched a few Percy Jacksons. They're pretty good. It's maybe geared towards a younger crowd than me. It's still very good.
How was Gary Gulman?
Gary Gulman was great.
Good. I'm going to watch that.
Yeah. The whole special was great. It was probably one of the... I watched Ricky Gervais. I watched Gary Gulman. I watched Chappelle. I think Gary Gulman's was probably the most laughs out of all of them.
Probably because he tells jokes.
Yeah. All right. So those are good. Echo starts this week. That's Users News. New Disney show.
I'll give it a views. I'm interested to see what they do with Kingpin.
Yeah. That's why I want to watch it. Vincent D'Onofrio's returning as Kingpin.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's got some Daredevil ties, and they're getting Daredevil cameos in it, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see. 5-episode spinoff of Hawkeye depicting the Oklahoma set origin story of the deaf Cheyenne hero Echo. Okay.
And they're dropping them all at once, which is kind of a weird move for Disney.
Yeah, they don't usually do that with Marvel, but this is the first one they're dropping them all, which, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm still going to watch it. It's views for me. Society of the Snow on Netflix. Anybody going to watch this?
What's it about?
Yeah, it's
about the plane crash in the Andes.
And there Alive.
Yeah, it's been done several times. They're doing it right now on Last Podcast on the Left.
I like the version of Mr. Show where the guy just ate everybody, even though.
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be pretty good though. It's from Spain, and this was their Oscar submission.
Steph, you were going to say something?
No, I just said me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather wait for the next Yellow Jackets season.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And then Grimsburg, which we mentioned earlier, Fox new animated series. John Hamm plays a detective.
Detective? Because if he's not MAGA, I'm not watching.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. Alan
I'll check that out
too.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk. It's a views for me. I like all the animated stuff.
We'll give it a views.
All right, then. I don't have a staff pick, but you guys go ahead.
My staff pick, I actually picked it a few weeks ago, and then we just didn't get to picks. But I love the show. It's so funny. Have you guys watched Fisk?
Mm-mm.
Oh, my God. It's this Australian comedy. It's this Australian comedian. Her name's Kitty Flanagan. She's a probate lawyer, and she works at a solicitor's office. Oh God, you guys, you have to watch it. It makes me cry.
Prostitute.
But anyway, if you want to laugh, check out Fisk. It is on, is it on HBO?
What's her name?
Kitty Flanagan.
Oh, it says here, Gizidzi Obzerski.
Huh?
No, Tim, that's Fist. You were looking.
No, this is, Fisk. F-I-S-K. Fisk.
Yeah.
But if you want to laugh, it's very funny. Each episode is like 30 minutes. Oh, no, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. They've got the first 2 seasons, and apparently they've made a 3rd season that hasn't premiered in the U.S. yet.
Okay.
But oh my God, you guys, the whole cast, the brother and sister lawyers that run that office, the little Asian guy who is the, he's like the aide, and the assistant there, he's hysterical. Her gay father and his lover are very funny. And her dad was like some big time judge. And she's just a bottom of the barrel attorney. Like, not a good. Yeah, she's actually very smart. She's super sarcastic, and she always says what she thinks, which is pigeonholed her into this terrible, her being held down in her career.
On the little Asian guy.
He is a fool. I'm telling you, he's so. It's like if Rebel Wilson was funnier and an Asian man.
Okay.
I'll check it out.
That's what he reminds me of. Anyway, but yeah, check out Fisk on Netflix.
Mine's the Floor, that new trivia show that started this week. Rob Lowe's hosting it.
Is it good?
It's on Fox. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's an interesting concept. Like each person goes on and they have their own thing that they are the expert in. Like somebody was 80s TV and somebody's rock stars and all this stuff. And then when you beat the other person, you have to take on their expertise.
Oh, okay.
So like if someone challenges you and you're the 80s TV guy, now you beat this guy, now you have to do dogs. Like you have to be able to identify dog breeds and stuff.
Oh.
It's a pretty interesting concept.
It's called The Floor.
I'm just waiting for all these. Yeah, they have The Wall on NBC, and now they have the Floor on Fox. So CBS is going to have the ceiling show soon.
No, they'll have to do The Window.
Yeah, The Window.
See, mine is on Netflix. It's an animated show called Blue Eye Samurai.
Oh my God, Neil is obsessed with that show. He's watched all of them.
Yeah, it's an adult. Definitely an adult oriented cartoon or animated series, but the artwork in it is amazing. They took 2D artwork and then turned it into 3D, but it kept that comic book look. So
cool.
It's really cool. The story is back when they closed Japan for 300 years. There were 4 white men in the country at that time, and one of them rapes a woman and has a child. Well, at that time, any mixed breed child was shunned out, but this one got taken in by a blind sword maker and was able to learn all the tricks from all these samurais that would come to this one guy to get their swords made. Fast forward, and she's hunting down her father to kill him, and it's an amazing story. It's really good.
You got Macaulay Culkin's wife is in this, Brenda Song, Randall Park.
Yeah, all the voice talent is American voice talent, mostly.
Kenneth Branagh, George Takei. George Takei. Look at me, I'm very old.
But yeah, check it out. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it looks like something I would enjoy. Thanks, Dustin. Mm-hmm. And I don't really have one. So, hey, guys, check out Trambles. I put a new episode out this previous Wednesday or Tuesday. I forget what day it was. And,
who was that DJ you were doing at the beginning?
Yeah, baby, that's what I was doing at the beginning of it. My podcast this week, I sit down with the podcast airs Saturday nights at 7 p.m. on WSB Radio, 95.5 FM, 750 AM in Atlanta, or you can listen on the WSB Radio app. My guest this week is Axel Lowe. He is a longtime radio personality in the city of Atlanta. He was on 99X, Rock 100.5, and now he is doing mornings on 97.1 The River. And he has a very storied career and is an interesting cat. My friend Mark Schrenkel is on Cameo. You can find him at Mark001 and hire him, have him do Sly for you. because he's really funny. Or you can hire me on Cameo at Tim Andrews here, HERE. Don't use the app. Apple takes 10%. So go to the website.
Now, what if somebody wanted you to do Casey Kasem, Tim?
I would do Casey Kasem. Did you want me to do Casey Kasem?
You haven't done it in a long time, and that's a favorite.
Nobody knows who he is under the age of 45, but that's okay.
That's not stopping David Spade from doing it every week on their podcast.
Yeah. Are they back to doing the podcast now?
A new one came out this week. I haven't listened to it yet, but I don't know because they put some best subs out over the holidays and stuff. And since Dana had that family thing.
Since you brought up Casey Kasem, Steph, let's talk about a goddamn death dedication for a fucking dog. What's going on with Barkville?
Well, my foster dog has gotten... she needs professional training. I've taken her as far as I can get her, but she has impulse control problems. Like she likes to jump up on you and with muddy feet. And it doesn't matter what you do. She's like an assassin. Like you think that you've beaten her, that she's not going to jump on you. And then out of nowhere, she'll get you.
Yeah.
Just like that. So so for the next 5 Saturdays, I will be driving to Gainesville to do one-on-one training with her at Rucker Dog Training. So if you want to donate and help us out, you go to barkvilledogrescue.org because the training costs money and it would be very helpful to us. We don't have an event this weekend. They were going to be at Caffeine and Octane, but it's going to be so cold. They didn't want to put the dogs out there that early in the morning and freeze them out. I mean, we'll be all right, but the dogs,
Yes.
So, but anyway, if you want to adopt, foster, volunteer, go to barkvilledogrescue.org. Woof. Keep it canine.
Keep canine, and the rest of you out there. Thank you for joining us each and every week. Please like us, rate us, review us wherever you listen or view. Leave a comment, please. We love to read your comments. So you can't always. We love your comments, by the way. If you're leaving them every week, that don't think we're being silly, but we'd love to hear from more of you out there. So please leave us a comment. You assholes. No, the people who haven't left them yet. Dustin bleep that.
Make one person subscribe.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
If anybody's listening to this too, if you could, if you would comment with some suggestions to replace swear words for me, I would love that. We could read them next week.
Yes.
Some good suggestions to replace swear words.
Swear word replacements for Steph. Instead of saying motherfucker, cocksucker, fuck you, douchebag, fucking piece of shit, cunt. I almost didn't say it because there's a woman on the show and I feel bad now. But
no, I know you're not talking about me. It's the P word that I hate. I hate that word.
I won't say that.
I never say it. I hate it.
Retarded?
No.
P word?
Retarded?
Penis.
No, it's pangolin.
Pangolin.
Yeah,
there
nobody
you
likes
go.
that.
Pastry. That's what she's. Oh, eat my pastry. Oh, my pastry is so wet.
Ew.
You said you don't like the other word. I'm trying to make it better. My pastry. Oh, my pastry is itching. How did I get all those bumps on my pastry? Well, I gotta go shave my pastry.
Your pastry's burnt.
My pastry don't work. My pastry's dry.
All of the filling has ran out of it.
Fudge me right in the pastry.
Yes, fudge my pastry right now. I have to go get the crust trim. All right, that's enough of that disgusting stuff. Thank you guys for being with us. We look forward to another year with you and all that jazz. We love you guys very much. Until next time, please remember to
keep it canon
and wash your pastry.